Hi there, welcome back. So I'm Tess, and today we'll be talking about the trait of humbleness. So the trait of humbleness is really important in spirituality. The reason for that is because of the sage-like quality that it can bring to a person. Now, when I say humbleness or humility, unfortunately, a lot of the times people associate this with almost a negativity, something that people don't naturally want. And they think that because they think that it means that humbleness means you're less or less than, or comfortable being less than. Now, this is entirely false. Humbleness doesn't mean that you are less than yourself. It means you think less about yourself. Not that you think you are less than others, you just spend more time thinking about how are others being affected? What are other people's needs and emotions? How can I serve the world outside of me? Instead of internally thinking about ourselves, thinking, how can I get more? How can I be more? How can I? So the real core belief and difference between humbleness is this ability to take ourselves outside of ourselves. So selflessness is really the word that would fall into our understanding the best. So the next thing we find in humbleness and humility is this deep listening. And this deep listening comes from a desire to hear others, but more than just to hear them and what they're saying, but what they're actually meaning. So we think about a mother who has to listen to the cries of a baby and try to understand what that baby actually needs. She can't understand what he's saying, but she can listen to what that baby needs. And we can do that with our friends. We can do that with our boss. We can do that with the world around us. Instead of listening to exactly what we're getting told, we can listen to the deeper needs and deeper meaning. And then we show up in this act of service, this desire to serve the world around us. And again, this can be, something that we see in the archetype of the mother, is this service, this generosity of putting others before ourselves. This can look like a lot of things. It can look like personal sacrifice so that you can be on time for somebody's something, so that you can show up and give them your attention. It means that we are interested in serving the world around us. And this is a very karmic, a positively karmic action to serve those around us. So this attitude of service, which doesn't mean that we throw ourselves out. In fact, it can mean that we give ourselves to educate ourselves so that we can serve better. We put in the hours so that we can serve the earth. We build something that is intended to create a better world for others. So this act of service is in this humility. So the other thing that we see in humbleness is the ability to ask for help. It's the ability to recognize when we're not able to completely take care of ourselves, or when we need a hand somewhere. It's our ability to recognize and admit our flaws and shortcomings, and to ask the world around us to show up and to help us. So this can be really scary for some people. This can be something that takes bravery even to be able to ask for the help and the assistance that we need. Well, it can almost seem like maybe, is that a selfish thing? If getting help means that you can serve the world better, if getting help means that you can be more present with the people that you love, then it's actually humility and humbleness to admit that we need help. Even if something as simple as finishing a project, or creating something, or cooking him dinner, getting all the chores done. There is an air of humbleness. And when you can come forward instead of, I need, so that it's easier for me, but to say, I need because I'm at a point where I don't think I can anymore. And making that difference between coming forward asking for help through selfishness or coming forward to ask for help through humility. And it is a fine line, but we can feel it when it's genuine. So mindfulness is the ability to pause and listen, but it's also a mindfulness of the space that we occupy in regards to others, and thinking about what is their happiness, what is their joy, that consideration of others. This mindfulness of pausing, looking out, and seeing others and what they need. All too often, in our own brain, in our own mind, in our own body, which is designed almost exclusively to look after ourselves, we can forget that our own happiness is requiring the happiness of others around us and their joy towards us. But more importantly is cultivating that mindfulness, that consciousness, that consideration of others' feelings, others' work, others' priorities, and prioritizing their priorities. And we can think for a minute, we can close our eyes and think, what does it mean to prioritize others' priorities? And that's where we find humbleness, is in that prioritizing others' priorities. And this is something that we can practice every time we come to a decision. We can stop for a moment and be mindful of the others involved and listen deeply. Then come forward with our act of service and prioritize their priorities. And then be grateful for our ability to be able to serve them. So gratitude is another thing we see in humility and humbleness. And I'm not talking about the gratefulness that you have on Christmas morning when you come down and there's lots of presents with your name on it. This is a fleeting gratitude. This gratitude comes and goes when we get what we want. I'm talking about a deeper gratitude, a gratitude that is present for us with whatever we have. This is a gratitude that's stable, that we can rely on. This gratitude looks like being happy with what we have and recognizing that we don't need more. This gratitude is looking into our lives and finding the things within it that are satisfying or are enough, or simply by not desiring more is our way to find gratitude in this humble gratitude. our biggest goal with this trait is to find a space of serving the world around us. It's humility. And even acknowledging when we can't serve the world around us and we need to improve our own skills. It's acknowledging our inabilities so that we can come forward and learn. In many ways, you need to have this trait of humility to be a student. You need to acknowledge that there's more that you can learn. And you learn for the sake of the world, because you love the world. You have this internal love for the world around you, and this internal desire to show up. And through that, we can access this humbleness where we listen to the world around us, and we're grateful for what we have, and we're aware of where we can improve, and putting others' priorities as our own priority. I hope that this talk has given a little bit of interest or inspiration, and thank you for joining the Terra Nova Yoga Philosophy Talks. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.